Hello and welcome to your expert group. Today we are going to be talking about the city-states and how they were run during the Renaissance period. Now, before we talk about how the city-states were run in Italy during the Renaissance, we have to first have a good understanding of what a city-state is. A city-state is a state that has its own government, and it consists of a city and the area around it. So, for example, two of the very popular, wealthy, and famous city-states in Italy during the Renaissance were Florence and Venice. They were two cities that worked separately from each other. They had their own governments, they ran their own ways, and they were incredibly successful. In feudalism, we saw that places were controlled and ruled by a king or a queen, and during the Renaissance, in many of the city-states, they were republics at first, meaning that the government was controlled by citizens. Many of these republics then would face a war or a rebellion, which you may have read about in previous history. And when this happened, a dictator would arise. In Venice, the dictator, or the one powerful person that ran the government, was a duke. This is an example of a duke. Later, he would lose power to nobles. In Florence, there was a family that became the most powerful and then, in turn, became the ruling family of Florence. That family was called the Medici. And eventually, Florence was run by one individual person named Lorenzo de' Medici, and he ruled the city from 1469, let's write that down, 1469 to 1492. I want you to look on page 614 to find out more information about Lorenzo and what he did with his wealth while he ruled Florence. The last thing I want to bring to your attention in this video before you begin reading in your book is the word diplomacy. Diplomacy is the art of negotiating or making deals with other countries. Now, many of the city-states were very diplomatic or used diplomacy to make deals with one another, and that's a part of the reason why they each became so wealthy. Hopefully you enjoy this picture of all the countries making a deal. Now, as you open your book and begin reading, I want you to start at the urban noble, and I want you to end at diplomacy. The last thing that you should read about is diplomacy. Don't read about Niccolo Machiavelli, as someone else in your home group is going to educate you about him and his role in the Renaissance. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that now you are ready to dig into the textbook. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me during this time that you're working in your expert group. This foldable will be a great tool for you to use on your homework tonight as well as on the quiz tomorrow. Thanks for watching.